get used to how I'm gonna position this camera with this desk because it's quite a bit different. In case you're listening, but let me go ahead and set it up so I can show you. I can't show you everything because I can't. So let me find. Let's turn this up to the main output. Give me a second while I set this up so I can actually see what's going on myself. I don't know what's going on over here. All right, cool. Let me see if I can adjust the camera a little bit, make it easier for you guys. Try to make it easy. Ain't nothing easy. You can see my camera in there. It's terrible, but you'll get the point. All right. Eventually, I will remove that sticker too, by the way. I'm just waiting it out. All right. If you come in, you got questions, I should be able to answer your questions. In the meantime, I'm going to keep jamming. We're in G minor. That's what I think that's it. I'm in controller mode right now just because I want to. Give me 1 second here. I need to. In the controller mode, I don't need Ableton nearly as much, but when I'm doing this, I kind of do. So give me 1 second to pull this up here. Okay, that's right, G minor. I had to remind myself what G minor was. I'm having a brain moment here. And cool, when you set it on one, it sets it on the other. So G minor. Now, if I just want to go in key, I'm gonna go here, and then I can't play a wrong note. I'm trying to learn the chromatic on this though. It's in the fourths layout, so I know it's here. I know that's the octave, right? And it's in G, so I don't have to really technically learn the scale. But I wanted to kind of learn the scale. That's kind of my point of doing that. But all right, back to the guitar. Okay, so I'll show you this. I did some drumming on Addictive Drums. These are the drums out here. This is the sequence portion of it. So I did the drumming on that first. I haven't done the bass yet. I'll get to that. Went in, did some using scalar too, which I know you can't see here the perimeters because it's not mapped. The keys. Here's the Rhodes Anthology. It is mapped, so that's kind of nice um, for some of the stuff that you can do. And then I went in and played that using the chords, which are not playing now. For some reason, okay, it's showing it triggering, but it's not. I'm trying to get used to this playing in the session view, which is a little different than what I'm used to. Scalar. Okay. Why is Scalar not playing? So here's the chords right here, so you can see them. It's not arming the track is what I'm trying to figure out what. Okay, so why is it not arming the track? It's all trial and error, right? When you're trying to figure this out. So there's that. There's that. It should be. I gotta find the. Okay, it is locked. It is G minor. We know that. Oh, you know why? Because I think I have the scale on here locked. It's the. Am I in chromatic? Yeah, I'm in chromatic though. It's the wrong scale in here. I can say that up front. I'm gonna put it back to C and then just move this to major. I don't know why it's doing that, but the scale is G minor technically, so we're gonna put it in G minor, I guess. This is the trial and error stuff that I'm talking about. I don't want it to scale lock though. Trying to see why it's doing that. That's the confusion I'm having. Let's see. Immersive, what's up? Looks like G minor. It is G minor. Well, that's what I played it in. It was G minor. Yeah. This is the first. Yes, this is my first push um, ever. I've never had any of them. Push with knobbler on the iPad is a beast. Interesting. Never tried that. Thank you for that thought. I think it's Bioka. I might be saying it wrong. But yeah, so all right, let me see if I can figure out why it's not letting me play my instruments here, which is kind of bothersome to me. Uh, shift. Maybe I'm out of the nothing. G2, G1, G3, G2 should be G2 because that's where my piano starts, and it's still not doing it. I'm not sure. I'm gonna move this down and see if I start something new. Is it doing it? Weird. Okay, it's moments like these. Um, but anyway, so I'll play what I have so you can hear it. I was on Ample. Okay, there, Ample's working at least. Let me put the chords back in so you can hear it. Go back to Ample. This is my first time really using controller mode, so because I've been using it in standalone most of the time. So, and this is a nylon guitar, by the way. I know you can't see it because you're just looking at this. And you're like, what the heck is this? But Ample's guitar nylon string. It's called the Ample Guitar L. Is what I'm on. I'm gonna stop this for a second. I'm gonna go to trillion for a minute. My bass. Hold on, move down. And I have my keyboard hooked up. You can't see this over here, the launch key. And the launch key is what I'm used to. And I'm trying not to go there. I'm trying to stay over here as much as I can. All right, so let's see. I'm using a muted jazz bass. I could plug the regular bass in and do that. But I wanted to try this out to see if I could. I'm trying to let me take the scale thing off because it's driving me because this is actually Dorian and it should be minor. And I don't know why. Okay, there we go. So that's fixed now. We're gonna leave it in G minor. I don't know if it's gonna stay there, but do I know what I'm playing? Somewhat. Um, Nobody asked that, but I'm just answering it. I know these are the G's when you're in that. I prefer to stay in chromatic because I'm used to chromatic. But if I go in chromatic, then I got to remember the scale. So it's kind of, and I can do it on the piano, but I haven't got accustomed to doing it on pads. That's the challenge. So I'm really a rookie, like a serious rookie at looking at this and knowing what I'm doing. Whereas if I jump on a piano, I understand what I'm doing. So that's the challenge of using the push um, versus just using what I'm accustomed to. What's up, Crazy Wabbit? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. So this is a jazz, again, jazz based on Trillion that I use. When I'm not using the jazz bass, the physical bass, then I'm using this Trillion's bass to do everything. And I know it's weird because on the push you can't really see what that looks like, which is why I hope in due time that a lot of companies will make their stuff, maybe will make their stuff push friendly, because it would be nice. I can't deny that. Um, all right, so back to trying to make this work. I don't think this will be a device left on top of the car. Oh yeah, yeah, that's funny. No, definitely not. Definitely not. In fact, there probably won't be a device left anywhere but right here where you see it, because it's about 8.45 pounds. So trying to lift this up and carry it around, could do it, but I mean, when you go into controller mode, I mean, the standalone, you're limited on what you can use. It's all Ableton stuff, right? So you're either using Ableton stuff to create, or you're sampling into this device. And so unless you're gonna, I mean, which is fine, you can take your phone and sample right into it and be recording music while you're on the go. You can do your drums, that kind of stuff, but you're not going to be using trillion addictive drums without a computer, so, or ample sound guitar. So I wonder if it changes the. Okay, no, it's stuck. Okay. Okay, so if you have any questions, let me know now, and I'll be glad to. Do you see going portable? Yes, going portable with absolutely. And that's kind of because the goal is to sample into it. If you don't know, if you know Ableton, Ableton has, in my opinion, the best time stretch warping abilities in most stuff. And so being able to have that warping ability, and if you love synth, then the Ableton synth stuff sounds really good, like drift and wavetable and all that. But and also For's .fm, if you haven't checked out his stuff, I think he was one of the ones that helped with some of the Electron boxes early on. Um, so anyway, his stuff works in here great, right? In standalone, but you have to be willing to commit to those sounds. Also, I did a video on this too, or maybe I didn't put it out, but there's some other producers out there named Clem Constantine, where he makes a lot of cool Max for Live plugins, and those work in here too. So like a lot of my music back on my a couple of my albums, I've used his stuff, Ableton stuff that he made, and made songs that were like ambient, like cinematic music. And so those work great in standalone. So stuff that works in standalone, yes. Or if sampling in, sure. Drums, yes. You can do all of that. Or play an instrument into it, absolutely. Um, Not to mention you can use the MPE stuff in here when you want to get real crazy with it. Finding use for the MPE. Yeah, so that's what I was just saying. The MPE. So when I do my horns here, I'll do one right now while we're on, since why not, you know? So we'll press the plus, we'll add a MIDI track, and we could put the plugin in so from here if you want to. So let's just go plugins, and then you see all of them. And by the way, you can use this if you want to go quicker. So we're gonna get a horn, right? Because that's what we need. So let's go with I think called my horn. I can't even say the word. We'll just say trumpets and things. So you see, I got a lot of plugins right online, so you can check that out. All right, let me do this the quicker way, because when you have a lot like this, it's gonna sometimes it can take forever to find your stuff. That's the guitars. Give me 1 second, because I don't want to go have you wait and go through all this. So we'll just do it this way. We'll add a MIDI track. I'm gonna do it on the computer just to make it faster because everything's already sectioned off. I could do favorites, but whatever. All right, let's grab the Dawson stuff for sure. It's all MPE capable, but I wanted to grab something I would use with this track so it wouldn't sound so weird. So we're gonna go with Swan, which would have, if you go in here, it's gonna be all the way to the end. So I'm just gonna show you on the push so that you don't have to wait for me to. So here's keep going. There we go, Swan collection. So any of the collection that I actually have on here will work. So we're gonna grab a tenor sax, and you can see three different versions. All it is there's the VST versions and then the AU version. We're gonna grab this version here, and it's gonna load. All right, you're not gonna see the perimeters, but I'm gonna show you some just in a second. So in here, and I did this in a video. You can check out that video for all the details. If you go into the MIDI and the controller, I think is it controller mapping and settings. Oh, there it is. Like this is it. Okay, yeah, here it is. MIDI mappings. So they in the Swarm instrument stuff, which is also on iOS, by the way, in case you're wondering, there is the MPE. So I'm gonna grab the default MPE because they don't have one. I'm gonna reach out to them actually and see if they'll make one for the push, since the push has MPE now. All right, there we go. So without MPE, that expression, watch. You wouldn't get that. You would have to manually do that or turn it into here. So here's the thing you can do. Like I'm gonna do vibrato. So see, I touch the vibrato now, and now I can. So now this is just on this. So the MPE is only controlling the expression, right? Versus if I wanted to get real crazy, if they mapped it to this, you have up to 8 knobs. I could have the expression going while I'm doing some flutter. Watch, I'm gonna do it manually because they don't have it on here. So hear that flutter? So there you have it. That's the Swam. This one, let's delete it. You do that. Yep, delete it. All right, cool. Got that one off. So that's that. I'm gonna give you one more thing with the MPE because I know a lot of people wonder about the MPE portion of it. So why not? So we're gonna use Myth. I'm gonna create a track real quick. Should populate in just a second here. There we go, myth. Let me pick something. MP, I think everything in here is MPE, so I'm gonna go with the expressive stuff, swirl. We'll do a lead, something clean. Here's a flute, I guess. All right, let me try another preset for you. Let's go with maybe strings or something. All right, it's really weird right now because it's not fitting this track at all. It's not meant to be for this one, but just so you can see the MPE, that's just a small dose of it. You could get real intricate. It's a lot of the touch though that you gotta here. Let me show you settings and the expression. So you got to get used to the touch and stuff. I haven't really played with it all that much, but you can change it to poly aftertouch or keep it on MPE. But remember, the MPE only works on MPE stuff. It doesn't work on stuff that isn't. So it has to be MPE compatible to be able to do that anyway. So when I first thought I thought everything was going to be MPE. I didn't realize, and I didn't like the idea of that. It was kind of a deter thing. Can you sample in from? Yes, you can sample from anything. There's two line inputs. Can you see? You guys can see my fingers up here, right? Yeah, two line inputs up here. There's two outputs, two inputs right there. This is for a MIDI controller. This is your USB out. I mean, this is your USB out. I'm sorry. This is the power. Of course, there's a battery in this one, so you can unplug it and do the battery. And then you have headphones, and there's some other CV stuff up here that I'm not going to get into. Um, and of course, the MIDI, other MIDI stuff that's in there. What was I going to say? So yeah, you can sample anything. Just plug into the inputs here and then just record in. And if you go watch this, so here's your volume, your chain here. But if you go here, you can adjust your panning for your track volume depending on which track you're on. And then if you go, here's your layout for this, and then this is for your clips. But let's say you're on, how would I do this? Because I don't have an audio track on here. Let me get rid of this Swarm Instruments track. And then we'll keep that guitar because I actually like the way the guitar. And we'll just do an audio track. So and we'll just do a default. So there's nothing on this. It's just a straight audio track. Um, so here I'll record. I'm not going to record the bass in because I'll end up hitting this camera trying to do it. But you can go in and set, like if you go in here to this particular track, or whatever, you can set the input, output, the pan, and do all of that. And here's your volume. I just showed you that, showing it to you again. There's no clip on there, but you can adjust where you want the clips to be. So all of that stuff is available. Here's your audio right here. So you can set the line in. So this is an instrument. So I move this down to instrument. Oops. Doesn't matter there. You can set whether you want to go, what your outputs are going to be. You have full capabilities right on the screen to do it all. I mean, of course, there's no touch screen, so you got to accept no touch screen. But your sample rates are all there. Your buffer size, if you need to do that. Of course, your MIDI stuff here. You can see I have the launch key plugged in. It recognizes it. Oh, you don't need to see all my software stuff. Sensitivity is right here, so you can set the threshold and all that. I just left it at what it was. I'll be honest, I didn't mess with that too much. And then I'm going to go into here one more time, and we're on the audio. And I got to turn this bass up. So I got to set the input. Now, mind you, I'm still learning, so I'll make mistakes along the way trying to get you where I'm trying to get you. But hold up a second. think it's right here. It's got to be here. I don't know why. Pan. Oh, you know what? Is it shift? No, it's not shift. There we go. All right, so it's right here. So click that button because that's your input output. So you see how this is in, and I got the audio. You have to, just like in Ableton, if you ever never used it, you have to set it to auto. If you don't set it to auto, it won't, you won't hear, or set it to in, you won't hear anything. And then you got to tell it what type. So resample. So in this case, there's an input. We just need an input. Come on. There. Set that to that. See, it says no input, it won't work. So you have to have an input set. I'm going to set the input in here. Give me 1 second to do that. External in. So I have to, let's see, push in the DAW. You got to make sure the external in is set to there so that it has, and now you can see the external in. So see the volume coming through there, and then the channel is set to 1, 2. It's a mono because I'm only running this one. So you could sum those channels up if you want, right? By going back into the audio and then link the channels together. So put it on instrument if you want, and then you can link the channels together if you want to do that. I'm just going to run one. There's no reason to link them together right now. I'm just showing you. All right, so there's your ins and outs. So you got that. Now you can go back over to your mix. Now it's not as loud because it's a bass and I don't have any presets on here, but you could go in and do your device and then start adding in audio effects. So for instance, I could go here, audio effects. I'd put a roar on this thing, which is right. Oops. No, we don't want that. Swap that out, please. It's right here. We want the roar. And then I use like the bass fattener right here. And then, yeah, we're done. So now you have something on there for this audio track here. Is it coming through? Why is it not coming through? You can also set this for single input so that it comes in mono, which is what I really want it to be. So I'm going to show you that. So I did it. So mono, even though it's showing you both sides of it's playing, it's actually mono because I turned it in there to mono. All right, let me answer your questions. Can MPE be set to massage your feet? Now that would be amazing if it did that. Yes, this is standalone. Hey Dustin, what's up, man? I only have live intro, so I'm missing a good amount of features. But is there MPE device? One that will send MPE to the destination like cutoff or something. I think there might be some MPE on the intro. I'm not sure, but the intro comes with this device. If you buy it, it comes with an intro. I didn't buy it new though. I bought it used. So I already have live, so there's no real reason. I have the suite, so there's no real reason to buy it. So no sample. Oh, no, not over USB. No, you just run it in here. That's coming though. I heard they're working on sampling over USB. Currently, you need to sample through the inputs. But honestly, if you're gonna take this thing out with you anyway, the battery life is only like 2 hours max, depending on what you're doing with it, right? So if you're gonna take it out, you're gonna have to charge it at some point. So you might as well, I mean, you probably carry, I have some cables here. Let me show you, see if I can find that cable. It's somewhere around here. The one that's sticking here, that's in the back here, this thing is only like maybe a foot and a half or something like that. So you can buy like a little cable and just run it in with your phone and just record in something if you want to. It's really not that big of a deal. It also has Wi-Fi, so you could, in theory, load a bunch of samples in it if you wanted to and just do it that way. That's probably the easier way. Why is this guitar not? It's playing, but I'm not hearing it. Did the speaker die? Nope. Something is off. Trying to get this input from this track here, and I'm not seeing it come through. I see it come through on the mix, but I'm not seeing it in here. Why are you doing this to me? Track volume, mix, input. There you go. Oh, because when you're on auto, I'm tripping. I know this. Having a moment. When you're on auto, that means it only records when you press play. And it automatically, when it's not playing, you can't hear it. When it's on in, you can hear it. When it's on out, you're sending it. So you can hear me. I'm going to turn it up. You can hear the bass. I'm not going to. I'm muting the bass while I'm trying to. So if I press play, there you go. So you can hear the bass going. Boom. That's just wanted you to hear that. That's all I was doing it for. All that work. All right, cool, done. So my suggestion is yes, you can sample in if you want. Same way I just played the guitar. I was showing you that just so to show you can sample in. You just have to plug into the inputs to do it. At the moment, while we're recording this video, that's what it is. They are talking. I heard there's talks about, and I haven't looked at the beta yet. There's a new beta that's coming out, by the way, just so you know. And the new beta is going to have a couple new features in it that are actually really good. One's the chord thing. I kind of showed in another video on Ableton. There's the chord thing where you have the 16 levels for each drum thing that you have. But then there's also the song mode that they've come out with, as well as what was the other one for push? The song mode, and it's another big one, and I can't. My brain's not picking it up right now. Anyway, it is what it is. So there's a lot coming, and the good thing about Push, if you own one, and I've followed them, never owned one, that they continually working on this thing. So I like that. I think that's a great thing. It keeps you motivated to use it when they come up with new stuff. So oh if you hit shift and this, I think it's shifting here. I'm still learning this, but I think it's shifting here. It might be selecting here. Yeah, so it can be a mod wheel or a pitch wheel. You see that? So the touch strip, you can go between. So if you prefer to be a mod wheel, which in this case I might, let me see. Like to get the vibrato from the guitar. Or if you prefer that on a horn, you can use this as vibrato. So if you don't need the pitch, I wish it would be cool if they had two touch strips right here, right? Where you could be like, and use both of them at the same time. That would be sweet. But you can't, you can only use one. So you'd have to use your knob up here if you want the other. But anyway, just thought that was kind of a cool thing. Let me see if I can figure out more questions for you. MPE, only intro. Yeah, so you would have to look that up. I think MPE. Okay, so first off, if depends if you're looking for something built in to the standalone, you're going to have even with the standalone, you're not going to be able to use these instruments that I'm using with it as standalone. You would have to use it in controller mode. So it would be because they're not built for this. They're just MPE instruments. So you have like Dawson's Myth, Novum, any of the Dawson stuff. The Forest stuff will work in here as standalone. So I can show you the Forest stuff if you want to see it. Here, I'll do that. MIDI track, and we will go for a. I should have my where's my favorites? MIDI track. Hold on, let me find. I'm trying to find a quicker way to get you to show you. Okay, user library. There we go. All right, so in my user library, I have a ton of stuff. I'm just going to go to a fours instrument. I was going to go just to a fours. It's so I have so much stuff. I have to like Oh, you know what? Let's go to Max for Live. Here, let's use this to get it across here. So there's some there. Let me grab Cheryl, whatever it is. How do you say that? There we go. There's one. All right. We'll load that one. Loading it. Let me turn it down a little bit because they get loud. So this one's not, I don't think this one's MPE now that I think about it. So let's swap it. If you want something, I'm trying to think MPE. Only thing I can think of right now is the stuff. Pretty much, if I'm going MPE, I'm probably going Dawson. So I'm going to go plugins over here. And I'm going to go Dawson's. And let's do Novum, actually, since I've done Myth already, kind of showed you guys that. Passed it again. So here's Myth and Novum. These are from Dawson. They're MPE enabled stuff. So it's only going to work on MPE enabled stuff, right? There's no parameters on this one though. So let me pick something that's not that. So Novum is like 6 layers. It takes a piece of audio, strips it to 6 layers, and it's basically a granular plugin. It gets real weird too. Let me tell you. I use this kind of stuff for cinematic. See, it gets real weird. I'm going to switch back to the shift to the pitch. So that's Novum, that's called Battleship, and that thing, or Battle Space. I'm sorry, and that thing is Novum is wild. So you're gonna get all over the place with the MPE stuff because it gets real expressive. And it's actually I find it a little bit challenging to control, but it's because I'm not used to having it, so it takes a little while to get used to it. Put my mod wheel back. All right. Oops, I didn't mean to open that. Quit that. All right. Questions, thoughts, anything? Are you enjoying the new skillet grill thing? I don't know what that means. 2 hours, more than enough time. Ballot on the court. Hmm, nice. Well, I'm not sure. Does it tell me how many people are in here? Or am I the only one now? All right, I don't know if anybody else is in. But if you're still here, just thanks for hanging out. Just we're just exploring. I'm gonna mess with the bass. All right, so let's do that. Let's just lay a track down. Now I can use the MIDI here, but just for the sake of this one, we're just gonna shift play. Brings it back to the beginning. So if you were looking in here, there's no clip because I didn't record anything, but I'm gonna record it now. All right, that's good enough. That's just 4 bars. I love how when you press play, it just instantly segments it off the 4 bars, hit crop. If it goes over, just hit crop, and it'll stop it at the loop length that you set, which is really cool. So now this is looped. I'm just playing anyway. I'm not even really trying to be strategic here. And there's the clips. Now that clip is in the wrong spot technically, so you can move the clips as far as I remember. How do you do it? Is it here? Oops. Let me see. How do you do it? Now I got that's something I'll have to look up is how you move them because I can do it in the computer. It's pretty quick, but there you go. So now it's there, but I got to figure out. I know it's a way to do it in here. I just can't remember it. But anyway, so now that we're there, shift here to get back, and then we need to trigger it from the main. All right, so let's do something that's not loop because that's what I enjoy the most. Probably is not looping something. I'm just doing the loop so we can see how it goes. Shift here starts it all the way back to the beginning of the front of the track. Now, if you don't do that, it'll just pick up wherever you're playing into the song. So I suggest you remember if you get this, shift here. You can switch octaves down here, up and down, and pages this way if you want to do that too. There's that function. But at least everything that's actively does something is already lit up. So you know what, and you could set fixed length loops if you want to do that. You have control over how many of your bars you're counting, your time signature. How much is quantized, the swing on the track, that's your global, tap tempo, as well as adjusting a tempo over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just record, like just jam kind of, and just have fun. So watch this. So there it is. That loop will not be it's a solo, right? So it's 25 bars. I'm fine with that. I don't care how many bars. So the way I kind of would work in this is if I go back to here, this particular one, I'm gonna move it on here because I haven't learned how to move it here yet. Um, would sit about on the second one right here, what you see there, and then I would duplicate these other ones. So I got to learn how to do that. It's a duplicate button over here. Let me see if I hit it, what it does. There you go. So if you hit it, it will duplicate, but it's duplicating everything, and I don't want to do that. So this one, I'm going to delete. So you see how now I'm basically starting from the top and then there. So now I can just play this one. Oops. Why is it playing that? Should be playing from the first one. So this is where I got to learn why it plays this when I'm actually up here. Okay, there we go. Trigger it that way. The new song mode, I think, fixes some of this stuff because you have to manually trigger it right now. See? But and the new thing they got coming out, I haven't got it because I don't want to. I want to learn it before I do that. And then if you want to see what your notes are, you can see what you played. So hopefully you guys are getting a sense of it. I'm trying to show you my workflow. There's a million ways to do this, right? Because I like to do a solo in my song and all that. Some people don't like that. But when you don't have vocals, this is kind of my way of having. I'm not a singer, so. And then I might do another one. So I don't like the way it duplicates everything. I just wanted to be able to select which one, and I got to learn that. That's just something I don't know how to do. But what I would do next is probably do another solo of some different instrument, right? So I know you can move across your instruments using this pretty easy. And then I would delete this one there. So now then I can start building another instrument. So I could throw in, hit the plus, throw in another MIDI track just so I can have an instrument that I want. And I would bring in probably some type of horn at this point, right? That makes the most sense. All right, so plugins. We're gonna go to this one here, plugins, and we're going to go to Swamp. So we got to go all the way to the end. So let's see if it'll let me go backwards. No, there is a filter here, so I could filter. How this doesn't look like that's filtering to me. All right, clear the filter. Never mind that. All right, so we're just gonna go across to make this as quickly as possible. It goes pretty fast if you just hold it down. But you see, there's so many, when you have that many in there, you could get, it won't look like this in standalone. Swam, so we'll keep going. There we go. And we'll bring in the tenor sax. So now, hit that button again, load that. So now we have the tenor sax, which should be, oh, it's asking me, do I want to use the, okay, yeah, we'll use the, where is it? MPE, thank you. It's going to load in MPE. So this is the vibrato, which I would use, now that I have it in mod, I forgot about that. If you put it in mod, that's going to be the vibrato. I don't use the pitch as much. Every blue moon, I throw a pitch in on the sax to kind of give it some different life. But anything you touch could become all of a sudden, like if I touch it with this mouse, then it becomes the volume. So I could adjust the volume here, like that. The sensitivity is crazy. I would love probably to have a little less or a little more, I mean, less sensitivity. So I'd have to go in and adjust it either in Swam itself or in here to, so that I can lay into the pad a little bit more because I'm not light-handed. I guess that's the term for it. All right, I'm gonna answer questions. I love the pad layouts for notes. I'm no keys player, but I'm understanding. Yes, yes, absolutely. So if you play guitar or bass, this makes sense to you, right? And the fourths, you can change it to different ones, but since I play bass and guitar too, it makes more sense. I do play keys, but this makes more sense to me. Um, anyway, when I'm on here, it does at least. So yeah, I agree with you 100%, Dustin. All right. So all right, so just coming up with another solo idea. All right, so then time it, turn it on, and let's get it. All right, that's enough. So 18 bars, whatever. It's just a solo. Just having fun, just do your solo. Boom, there you go. So now I have two solos. I have that. You can start your introduction off maybe. I'm just using this as ideas basically. You could go to this one and then go over to maybe this one and remove the bass if you wanted to in this particular clip, or just delete this clip if I didn't want it. Boom. And then I would put a drum fill here on this one toward the end. So I would go in and probably retweak this and do. So, oh, got to get to the right one. Why is it playing? Okay, shift here. And I forget you got to trigger it here. That's the part of it. So, because of the fact that we aren't on the new update. So, in this one, stop. We're going to select the notes. You see how you can go through each note too, like that? That's pretty interesting. So you could go through and just start deleting notes like this. See how I'm deleting all these notes? Boom. And then just record right into this when you want to do your drum part for your intro. So let's just go back. Oops. Go back here. Or shift up. A little count in drum, that'll be fine. Let's do that. Nope, that's not it. No, that's definitely not it. All right. And by the way, there is an undo. It's not like I couldn't have just sat there and press undo, but I didn't. Shift play takes you back to the beginning. This is the one I wanted. I pressed it wrong. Or the stick. I'm gonna use the stick. That's what I want. You can quantize if you want, or nudge the notes if you want. So nudge them a little that way. All right, turn the record off. Deselect all of them, and I'm just gonna select this one and nudge it because I want to nudge it. There we go. All right, cool. Switch over to here, and then set it on the second one and time it. Then it's gonna go. Got it? What's up, Lazy Bladen? One second. Time the next one. So when this so right now it's just switching. When I switch it, it's just literally switching. So in the latest update that they're gonna put out, I don't know when they're gonna drop it for the public, but um, it's a song mode to where you can tell it how many times you want each line to play before it switches. Because right now, if it switches in the middle of a solo, that wouldn't work for me. You know what I'm saying? So, because they don't want to. I mean, you're in the middle of a solo. You want to finish the solo. Because these loops are shorter than this loop. This ain't really a loop. This is just me playing with it. You get what I'm saying? Here we go. A little conversation going on between the nylon guitar and the tenor sax. We shall call it sweet talk. I don't know. I'm just being silly. All right, got it. So that's basically the workflow at this moment until the update comes with all the other goodies they've added. Like the basically you can drop scalar chords into a nice little palette of array of chords and play them that way, and not and in the standalone too, which is gonna be crazy. So I can take all my scalar packs, drop all of them. It'll take me a while to do that, but make all these chord packs like that, and then now I could just be in standalone using chords. So it'll be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm not usually in the clips either. Okay, so that's what I was just saying. So the clip action thing is coming in the next update. It's already there. I mean, if I could download the beta version of it, but it's coming. It's already created. It's just a matter of them. They're beta testing it right now to make sure there's no bugs and kinks. And it's going to be there. It'll be clip action. At this current point, I think right now, I'm not on the beta version. I'm just on the regular. There is no um, way other than that I know of, other than just pressing the button to trigger the next chord. So you're talking about follow. They call it follow. Yeah, it's in the. I think follow is in the actual the Ableton Live. But yeah, I'm speaking only about the push. So I could probably do it on the live on the actual program. But if you want to see it in the push, it's not. It's coming on the next update, which is already out technically, but it's in beta. So yeah. But that's a huge thing for people that working in clips because it's like you need that you need that ability to be able to time it, like especially when I wanted to finish the sax solo and not or to finish the guitar solo and there are different bar lengths. So yeah. Otherwise, if you didn't like that, then what you do is you just drop all this back into the DAW and you just keep it pushing. You can sequence it right in Ableton Live and not have to worry about that at all. So that's kind of the workflow. But yeah, so it was fun. I just wanted to make a little something and show you how I would use it personally. It'll change some more when we get the other features they're adding. But one of the things I like about Ableton is the company, they're always updating and they're always got a beta out. They send for a while when 12 was out, they were still sending betas to me for 11. I just stopped doing it because I was like, I ain't got time to be beta testing on older versions when I'm already on the new version, you know? So I'm on the beta for the new version but I'm not on the beta for push because I just got the push. So I'll get on the beta for push at some point, but I'm just learning the push right now. So I don't want to jump on the beta if I don't really fully know what I'm doing. 100, not 100%, but fully know what I'm doing. So in time. Um, so yeah, follow or whatever. It's called follow. Yeah, follow actions. When I did mess with it, it was useful in life. Absolutely interesting. It didn't exist in the push yet. Um, I think a lot of people use the push to perform. And yeah, they triggering it themselves. And I think if I remember right, see, I've never really had the push till now. So what they would do is they would just trigger it, and it would be blinking, right? And when the other loops finished, it would just go into that loop. So that was kind of what you did. But with follow, you can, if I remember right, you can actually tell it how many times you want that loop to play and do stuff like that. So it's a little more intricate, but it's gonna get better. Trust it will get better. Something interesting in push. Now I'm in the controller mode. Is like if I go to hit save, see this? I don't know what it's doing. Oh, I know what it's doing. I'm just telling you. So basically, what it does is it create it. You don't know what in the world it's doing if you're just sitting here in the controller room. You're like, oh, it just crashed. It didn't crash. It opens up your save on your computer for you to save the track. So there's nothing you can see. You think you're looking at like, did it just crash? That's it's a little confusing. But I'm gonna call. What did I say? I was gonna call this sweet talk. I think that's what we're gonna call it, sweet talk. And then I don't like not seeing it because I can't remember the tempo, so I gotta go. I think it was in 90. Yeah, I think I was at 90 BPM, and I think I said this was G minor. Yeah, G minor. So it took all my information away. So I was like, I don't know what in the world it is. But yeah, so that's kind of it's assuming that you're looking at the computer because you're in controller mode. But I hardly ever look at the computer when I'm looking at this. I'm just doing it here. Only reason I'm looking at the computer right now is because I was looking at the chat. So otherwise, I wouldn't be focused on this at all. So anyway, sweet talk is what it's going to be called for the sake of time. We're just going to go ahead and save that. And yeah, this is one of my favorite things, being able to go through and see the clip. So here's the drums, there's your bass, keys. Those chords are done with scalar 2. Scalar 3, I'm sorry. They finally reached out to me and they've been saying nice things because they kind of went off the rocker for a second on with me. But I had to send them another message that Scalar 3 still is crashing. Even with this recent update they put out, it's crashing Ableton. And it's the only thing crashing because it only crashes when I put the humanize feature on. So I went back to Scalar 2 and just use it. They'll fix it. I know in due time they'll fix it. I'm not really tripping, but it is what it is. I can't really use it right now because it's going to it kills the program every single time I do it. So Scalar 2 it is till I get the next thing, which is the expressive chords in here, and I'll use that until Scalar fixes their problems, whatever that problem is. If you want to know what the problem is, I think you should visit my other videos where I talk about the problem because it's still there. But anyway, I am going to do I do believe you need to do a collect all in here, even though it's here. So I'm going to do what they call collect all and save. I did that on the computer just because if you're going to use the computer, I think using the computer and this together is great. But if you're going to use the computer, then focusing over here, sometimes the way the screen flashes off throws me off as to knowing what I'm doing. So I kind of need to look back at the computer. So there's some of my songs. You can see songs in there. Conversations 2 and 3. If you haven't listened to that latest album on Bandcamp, take a listen to it. And I got a lot of. I'm not even going to go through all these songs, but yeah, you see songs. Just I'm always making a song. So anyway, all right, that's it for this one. I'm going to get off of this. Appreciate everybody stopping by. Is there any more questions that I missed? Let me make sure. Follow whatever. Okay. Appreciate everyone stopping by. Dustin, Blatantly Blatant, Crazy Rabbit, Immersive, and Bianca, and whoever else is here that didn't chime in. Appreciate you. And that is going to be the end of this video. So I will see you on the next one once I figure out how to turn the phone off.